So, for those joining me, my name is Weapon, and today we're going to be doing a run walkthrough tutorial of Iron Blood. And today's strategies are going to be built around using the first character, Roy Ferrigan, or Freegan, more better named, better known as the Cyber Troll. So if I refer to him, I will be referred to him as the Troll. The Troll's initial weapon is a punch, but the Troll does get an additional set of weapons based off of how much power he has, and we'll explain that as we are introduced to it. And Ripple uses a sword weapon, so basically it's kind of like using Mega Man or using Zero, with the exception that if you choose Mega Man, you still have to melee until you earn or build up the power to use the guns. Let me verify something here because I want to make sure I'm not too loud. DOSBox seems to be acceptable. Game audio seems to be acceptable. We're going to go ahead and run with that. So I do have some notes for this. I will be posting this with it at some point within the DOSCathlon group. You can see it at DOSCathlon.com. It's in the title. You can actually see what games are going to be run in October. This is one of the games. So let's just show you what the game is and what to expect. So I'm going to go and start it with the Troll. And as you can see, it is a side-scrolling platform. And it's pretty straightforward in that regard. Before I killed this guy. So you move by going left and right, up and down aims your gun or your punch. Actually, there is no aiming with your punch, but you can aim your gun once you get your gun. To switch, you hit spacebar, but as you can see, if I hit spacebar right now, I don't have any other gun. Control button jumps. Arrow keys moving. Alt is your punch again. Control is your jump. Space is your weapon change. If you hold jump, you'll actually do a little bit of a jet. Keep in mind that if you're not moving before you jump, you'll have very little propulsion or momentum when you jump. So you want to be moving at least a little bit to get the momentum for the jump. So obviously the punch starts off with very short range. You can hit Enter key. Enter key, by the way, will actually pause the game as long as you don't hit anything else and show you how powerful your character is. Keep in mind, as I'm explaining, this only applies for Troll. The controls are similar for Ripple, which is the other character, but the power-up works a little differently. But again, I'm only going to talk about Troll today. So at power level 1, the only thing we have is the punch. So as soon as you hit any key while you're on this power-up, it'll go back to the game. If you double tap a direction and hold it, you'll actually do a boost. If you hold it through the end of the boost, you'll actually do a turn, or potentially do a turn. I just killed him, by the way. You'll do a turn boost, which he's not showing right now because he's being nice. That may be reliant on the power as well. But if you see, if I punch now, it doesn't look any different, but if you look here, it's level 2. I will be doing more damage when I punch. So these guys normally take 3 shots to kill. He didn't drop anything, punch him. Now that guy, blue guy, only takes 1 shot to kill. I'm going to refer to the green guys as the green gunners, the blue guys as the blue walkers, because the walkers don't really do anything. So the controls are pretty standard otherwise. Just keep punching, and eventually you'll kill certain guys. This is a power pellet, the one that circles with a P. And that'll give you the next level power. Now I can kill those guys with 1 hit at level 3. If I hit space, I still can't change my weapon. Level 3 isn't enough for the next gun. So I have to jump up the next level. You can go up or down. It doesn't matter for as far as at least casually. Speedrun wise, I'll explain once I've done kind of showing off how things work here. But you can use the jump to go from ledge to ledge. You can hit these guys in the wall in the stage 1. You can punch them. You can stand on top of them and punch them. And it still counts. That's another power-up. And now that I powered up to 4, I have the first gun, the actual first weapon here. And if I hold the button, I fire. Of course, the your power meter will drain, and as soon as it drains, you stop firing. But once you wait a moment or two, it recharges and you can just keep firing again. Keep in mind as I take damage, my armor meter's up here on the left. The score doesn't matter at all. But generally speaking, as you gain more power, you gain different weapons. Each weapon has its pros and cons. The punch is excellent at close range. And as you can see, powered up to level 4, that punch becomes actually a farther range punch, which is quite devastating compared to its original state. And because it's powerful enough at this point, it actually will do significantly more damage than the Vulcan will. The Valken, I should say. But I can also hit this guy, I can do a lot of damage, and I can actually hit through guys with this weapon as well. But with the Valken, I can actually angle it. I can actually do this if I wanted to. Which is really good to keep in mind. So I can just keep going through here, keep shooting guys. You can see it takes a lot of shots at this particular power level to take these guys out. But say I switch to my my punch, drop down here. One hit. One hit. One hit. Well, 2 hits actually, it looked like. So it does a significant amount more damage. So that's a general control of at least the first 2 weapons. You'll see them as we go along. The next weapon after the Valken is the bomb. The bomb I was confused with at first because you have to hold it down before your character will start firing it. But once he starts firing it, it's a pretty devastating attack. It can easily replace the punch and the Valken once you get to it. Then last but not least is the laser. The laser is a straight beam that will hit everything in front of you for about 2 seconds or so. Then it has to 2 or 3 seconds, and it has to recharge. Suffice to say, as far as playing through, you really should change the weapon based on the situation. If you're fighting a lot of guys up close, you're probably most reasonable to use the punch or the bomb. If you're fighting a lot of guys at distance, the Valken or the laser are going to be the better choice. But generally speaking, as soon as you get access to the bomb, you basically just hold A to win, sort of. And once you get the laser, you use the laser primarily against the bosses. So for the time being, we only have the Valken and the punch, which is fine. So I'm going to use that. And I'm going to go ahead and just play example through the stages here that need to be done for the actual run. And you can see I ran out of ammo there. No power slot from him. For the speed version of Stage 1, by the time you're done with it, you should have about 6 power. If there's anything else that drops it, I haven't seen it. But generally speaking, all of the drops are exactly the same every single time. I may have missed 1 or 2 enemies, and one of those may drop something, but 6 should be more than sufficient to do what we need to do. Because ultimately, all we really want is to get a bomb powered up so we can fire the bomb with up and down power, which you'll see that once we get there. You can see at level 6 we only have the Vulcan. So we're immediately running to our first stage boss, which actually this is a mid-boss technically, but he's pretty straightforward. You just try not to take too much damage from these flying guys and just shoot the wall. You can angle your gun, hit the guys, you can actually jump up and hit the guys. You can do whatever you like. The more damage though you put to everything but the boss, the more time it takes to beat the boss. So this is the second part of Stage 1. The thing I love about this game, with the exception of the first stage and part of the third stage, you hold right, pretty much. Or you just keep going right. So with that, I'm just going to go ahead and do that, but since I'm getting close to these guys, I'm going to start punching. Until a point, and I'll explain why. About this point, a guy will jump out that we have to shoot down and annoy. This guy will harass you through the whole stage until you've done enough damage until he goes away. So as soon as you've done him enough damage, he'll actually go away. It looks like he's gone away. So now we can just keep progressing to the right. We still only have the Valken and the punch. And I'll point out the guys that drop items as I explain the stages, like that guy. And now we have the bomb. The bomb comes at power level 7. And we're going to go ahead and just switch to that because it's ridiculous. So if you look, the bomb at level 7... By the way, the power level affects all of your items once you get to that point. For instance, the punch, once it maxes out at that long range that you saw, that comes around level 5 or 6 or so, give or take, 5, I think. It doesn't get any more powerful, but you're powering up your Vulcan at that point until level 7 when Bomb comes out. Then Vulcan maybe has another level for another level of strength, so it gets a little stronger at that point. So if I actually switch to the Vulcan now, it's a little, the beam that fires out are a little bigger, a little stronger. And then in another level, it'll actually be a larger shot, so it'll actually do more damage. But the bomb, you get at level 7, you have to power it up like 3 times, I think. You can power up 3 times. First time it's powered up when you get it is, you can see it has a vertical blast. The second time it gets powered up, it actually has a vertical and an up and a down blast, which is great because that means it hits more things. And then the last charge of it actually goes 4-way, which means it pushes out the range of the bomb. Because this looks like it's a good range, but when you actually angle, you can actually see it doesn't go completely across the screen. It does have a limited range, which does take effect in a few places, especially for a few bosses. It is very important to note that. Bomb is not an unlimited range, but it does do a heck of a lot of damage, even at its first tier. Vulcan in its first tier doesn't really do that much damage, especially compared to Punch, as long as you're in range. So each weapon has their advantages depending on the range, depending on the enemy you're trying to hit. Now I just powered up one that gave it more damage probably, but not enough, not anything for the extra spread. Now since I'm coming up to it, I will explain this before I start fighting him. This boss tends to jump in the air and start shooting. There actually is a really awesome sweet spot. If you have your bomb and you stand in the sweet spot, he'll never hit you. You can still tank some damage if you need to, or jump shots, but I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to come over here. I see this tree right here, because I know he's coming up. Where's he at? There he is. See this tree I'm next to? I'm going to kind of center myself here, and I'm going to keep firing. Yeah, he's going to hit me if I stand there. Oh, a little bit more to the left. Those 3 shots will never hit me. Those will, but I can jump those. So if he fires again, jump. And you saw how quick that round was compared to the wall boss. So much faster. So that was stage 1. So basically on stage 1, and now I'll do it again. F10, by the way, games you over. The ultimate goal for the speedrun is to beat the 3 stages. But the thing that you have to keep in mind is you have to be able to do power maintenance. If you collect every single power-up that is available to you by the end of the 2nd stage, you'll have the laser at level 1. And the bomb at more than sufficient enough to do what it needs to do to take out the rest. Now, should you die, you start at the beginning of the stage that you were playing on last. Now, keep in mind that stage 1 is 2 parts. Stage 2 and 3 are only 1 part. If you die on the 2nd part of stage 1, you start back at the beginning of stage 1. But you do not lose any of your power-up. So if you got all the way to the boss of stage 1 and died, you have 8 power already. You have enough ability by finishing out the stage 1 a second time to have a full 15 points of damage, 15 points out of 16, which means you have a fully powered up everything except for the laser. So even with just fully powered bombs, you have enough to beat the game. You have enough to beat the stages, and then you just have to get kind of lucky grabbing one from stage 3. Now I've routed stage 2 per as far as enemies and what they drop, and it's pretty consistent. And technically speaking, it said, yeah, you can have up to 14 power by the end of stage 2. Yes. And let me get to my screen here. For reference, at power level 4, you get the Vulcan. Power level 7, you get the bomb. And power level 12, you get the lasers. So if you manage to get every power up in stage 1 and stage 2, you'll have 14 power. which is more than enough for a laser. So you have the ability to miss, and I may be mistaken. That might actually be might be a 13 on the laser. Yeah, it's a 13 on laser. So you can still miss one laser, one power up, and still get laser, which again is only really needed for the boss. Otherwise, you can still handle everything just fine with just the bomb. So I'm going to show you the route through stage 1 and explain what works with it. I'm going to show you the route through stage 2 as best I can. That one's going to be a little challenging because stage 2 is mostly an auto-scroller. Stage 3 is also an auto-scroller, but not as much as stage 2. So I'm going to go ahead and jump right into it. And I'm not going to time myself for the first part. I'll do a timed run once I'm done. So I'm going to go ahead and start it, and I'm going to show you the route. So again, for the run that I do, I use the Cyber Troll. And just for reference, this is Ripple. Ripple is cool. He doesn't have a jump yet, but he does have a double jump. So he's kind of Ninja Gaiden-esque. He has a sword. You can also see that on the screen, the armor and the weapon have been switched to the bottom. And if you do hit enter, you can see the power-up level as well. Keep in mind that when you do the auto-scrollers, you do get a gun weapon instead of the sword. But as any other stage where you're on foot, you get the sword. One of the biggest other differences between Ripple and Troll, which might make Ripple a more viable character in a speedrun, is he is much, much faster. He has a much greater capacity for dodging shots than Troll does. But given the stages as they are, it's not too bad to route through with Troll. Especially considering the weapon. The weapons are going to be much faster for Troll than this guy. But with Ripple, you can just run through the stage. As long as it's a stage to run through. So if I run through, the enemies are going to be different. I mean, the layout of the enemies are going to be different. What enemies are out there. Like these guys up here, none of these guys were in Troll stages. It's still, casually, this game is still a really cool looking game. It's still one that has playability in either way. So you play however you want to play. If you think you're going to enjoy Ripple more, play Ripple. If you think you're going to enjoy Troll more, use Troll. But the stage layouts are different. So what you get is going to be different. And how you fight is going to be different. So just keep that in mind. And for as far as playthrough, that's pretty much the basics of it. Also with Ripple, you have this fun attack. Let's see if I can pull it off. Ripple also has a power attack. There we go. Down forward attack. If you do the down forward attack, he does the screen crash. It takes 1 point of armor every time you use it, but it's really powerful. So if you feel you need an extra boost, you can use that with Ripple. I don't believe that I've seen that with Troll. Let me confirm that. Nope, Troll does not have that with his punch. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show the speed route now. The speed route is simply this. As soon as you drop in, you immediately hold right, so you can fall to the right as much as you can. You'll land down and want to hit the second of the blue guys. You get a power up. You want to dash and jump as much as possible here until you get to this first ledge. The first gunner, the second guy on the screen there, has a power up. Jump over to this ledge. Keep running, keep jumping until you get to this one where you see this wall. Come up to the left and kill this wall turret here. He will also drop a power up. So at this point, within the first couple of enemies, you've gone from 1 level power to level 4 power, which means there's 2 more guys to find. By the way, I'll have the map for this on the Discord as a resource for at least this first stage, as well as the second area of the first stage as well. So I've grabbed that second power up. Of course, avoid as much damage as possible. And here you have these 2 blocks you can't jump up through, but you can fall between them, which drops you right in front of the blue walker who has the next power up. Oops, hi. And then from there, you want to go ahead and either fall and keep jumping up this, over this top part here, or just keep following across the top from the left. Either way works. Just get up and over this hump, and this guy has your last power-up. So at this point, we have level 6, which is enough to make Vulcan just a smidge more appealing. Step forward and shoot him down. Now, it's probably it could be beneficial to take down these guys so you're not taking as much damage, because your health does trail you from area 1 to area 2. So if you're half damage going into area 2, you bring that half damage with you. So if you want to mitigate some damage, you want to jump and fire as much as you can. So here, we're going to go ahead and just Vulcan until we get close and run out. Alright. Second blue guy, I believe, has an item. It's the third blue guy on the stage. Third, there's a health. So it gives you a little bit of a health up. And then immediately after him, you have the harasser here. And he'll keep harassing you until you've done enough damage. You can kind of chase him up to the right if you want to. But if he's still firing, he's still going to chase you through the stage. Now, the reason why you want to take him out is because he will keep doing damage until you've gone all the way to the boss. And even while you're at the boss, he'll still keep doing damage. Okay. Now, there is a power-up in this stage. The highest level you get is 8. So on this stage, there's 2 power-ups and a life. The life is on the third blue guy. The power-up is on, with the second batch of characters, on the second green guy. And the last power-up is on the second of the 2 blue guys past that. So you should have level 8 and at least a little bit of health. Hopefully you have at least 4 or 5 health like I have here. That's more than enough to deal with the boss because I got the bomb. So this tree here, I'm going to stop just before it. Angle up. So now he's dodging those shots. He shouldn't switch sides, which is fine if he does. It's fine. Oop. And I want to try to be careful not to get too far to the right because he will switch sides if I do. And he should go down pretty easily. Oop. Unless I fail on health. Okay. So since I have what I need, I'm going to go ahead and restart from the beginning. I'm going to hit the first stage quickly. And I want to do it with exactly the power I would have going through there. Alright, so hold right. Hit the second guy. Charge. Charge, jump. Hit the second guy here. First of the green guys. Jump. Dash. And jump. Jump. Kill this first turret here on the right. Jump. Back to the right. Fall right off this edge here. Kill the first guy. First blue guy you can hit there. Dash to the right and jump. Dash to the right and jump. And jump again off that top ledge. And you shoot the last guy. Switch to your gun and fire. That's stage 1, and you just keep doing that till the wall dies. And again, you can mitigate some of the damage if you choose to by jumping and taking those guys out, or angling the gun up a little bit. And that will tend to hit some of the guys that keep flying across the top layer. Keep in mind, the more shots you put against everybody but the boss, the more shots it's going to take to finish it. So here we want the third blue guy. Switch back to Vulcan. Do this guy a dirty. We want the second blue guy, the second green guy here. We'll keep going. We'll want the second blue guy down the red. Keep going. Switch back to the bomb. Should have 8. We do. This is the tree I want to be behind. Get back. Oop. So if you get too close to him on either side, he'll switch sides. There we go. Now we got him where we want him to be, and we'll just hold here. So you want to center yourself on the tree on the left. And that's stage 1. And that's stage 1 done fairly quickly. The times you see on the screen, if they're on the split there, I don't know. I didn't see if they were on there or not. Yeah, they're there. That was timed before I figured out where the drops were. That's all timed before all the strat stuff is made. All right, so stage 1. First part of the area is pretty straight. Most of the areas just keep heading right. It's Mario, keep heading right. But there are 5 total power-ups in the first stage to get yourself to level 6 damage. The second part of stage 1 is an additional 2, which grants you the bomb ability. Now you will be using bomb pretty well through the rest of the game. It is loud, it's annoying, I'm sorry, but it works. So stage 2, which is what this is mostly an auto-scroller. You spend only a short amount of time on the ground, so you want to keep in mind that while you're in the air, there's one major difficulty. Now you saw when power-ups fall, they hit the ground and they wait until you pick them up. The problem is when you're in the air here, you can only pick up stuff that hits the ground for the very first part of the area. So if you kill an enemy and he drops an item in the first section of the game here, you can pick it up before the ground, you take away from the ground. Unfortunately, there is only one item you can pick, so you can bring your power to 9, guaranteed, if you are able to kill the guy and drop it and pick it up. The rest you have to catch in the air, which is a little more difficult, but they always drop from the same guys. So I'm going to go ahead and run stage 2 here, and I'm going to kind of pause it between groups of enemies here, just to kind of recall where stuff's at. So you still fire left with Alt, and make sure you switch to bombs because, or Vulcan, because you cannot shoot with your punch. So there's one medium, one middle, one low, and then one high. The guy that's high will drop the first power pellet, which I grabbed in midair. And then there's another guy, he doesn't drop anything. So at this point, the game takes off. Oh, wait, there's 2 more guys, I'm sorry. There's 6 guys, and then it takes off. So there's one medium, one low, one high. He drops an item, another one high, and 2 in the mid-range. So there's a total of 6 enemies in the first section. The next section is about 10 enemies, and what we want is on the 9th guy. So, we can kind of count it. There's 1, 2, 3, and I'm killing guys while I was on the screen. There's 4. First guy's going to be mid. 5 here. 6, 7. Should be a guy from high. That's 8. And then the 9th guy here will drop the item. Got it. There we go. And then 10, there should be one more high. And that's that. The next section is a section of 4 and then a bunch of turrets. You really don't get anything from any of these. But they do start coming from the left. So you have to be careful about the fact that after those 10, they will start flying from the left. Then after those 4, you'll have a bunch of turrets crossing the stream. 4 from the left, 4 from the right. And then once those expire, there is actually a health on this 4th one here. So, oops, I hit enter, and that was unintentional. Hold on. Of the turrets, you'll see the turrets flying. The 4th one on the bottom has a health, if you need a health. Then after those 4 on the top, 4 on the bottom, with the 1 health being on the bottom, 1 on the left, on the 4th most one that comes out. Then you have a pack of 5. I'm on the 2nd one here. The 4th one, which is a middle flying red one, which should be coming up here shortly, has a drop. Grabbed it. And then there's also one more turret. There he is. And then the next section, you just keep going and going and going until there's turrets. Now the turret section, again, there's one turret in the middle. By the way, at this point, they come from the left. You just keep shooting, keep trying to avoid these missiles and the shots as best you can. You will soak a lot of hits. Come back to the right. And there's bombs. There's these guys here. There's a health pack there. Now, once you've broken the turrets and gotten past the turrets, there will be about 4 or 5 guys, and the last one, this red guy, will drop. The last red guy here will drop another power pack. Excellent. So now we're in a pickle, because that was the last guy in the air. You're going to see the character, he's going to drop back down to the ground. Which is great, because I have 1 health left. Because I wasn't paying attention. So basically it goes 6 in from the right, 10 in from the right, 4 in from the left, 8 in from the right, 5 more in from the right, and then 8 in from the left, and then back from the right. So I have the list out here. The chances are good you're not going to memorize it. The best thing to do for at least stage 2 is hang on the left side of the screen, keep firing the bomb to the right, and keep nailing everything. However, if you want to power up your weapon, you have to remember which guys drop the items. And really the best way to do it is just practicing and keep doing it over and over again. And just kind of memorizing, getting a feel for, okay, 1 or 2 of these guys, one of these is going to drop something. So here I'm in a pickle because I have 1 health left, and there's a few guys coming up that are going to be kind of hard for me to kill without taking damage. So I want to be careful because these are also gaps here. So you have to jump these gaps. I'm going to jump back, just for now. I'm going to take him out from the edge. Because they do fire at you. And a couple of these do drop stuff. There's actually 2 more power-ups and a life up, which is good. Because we will need that life up immediately. So there's the first one. That's the power-up. But the life up you get isn't just a partial life up. Whoop, whoop, whoop. That was a bad jump. Because you need a full hardy jump there. You don't want to get too close because that guy will shoot you. These guys will shoot you if you get too close. But the third ledge is a full energy pickup. That is crucial to survival on this level. You can beat the boss without much health, but it is crucial to get that health. So he's on the third or fourth platform there. 4th platform. And the second guy drops it. So you need to hold out on health until you get to him and kill him. As soon as you're able to get him, he should drop the blue health. You're gold for the rest of the stage. That being said, I'm going to switch back to my bombs, which now that I'm level 13, I know. Only have laser, but I also have the 4-way bomb, which is just as efficient or effective as the laser, at least at the first level of laser. But here's 14, so I got a little bit more powerful, so laser should be a little stronger. And you'll see laser here shortly. And that's it. There's one more guy after the guy with the full health with a power-up, and then it's just on to the boss. Now the boss is pretty easy because there's a really easy strat for him as well. So watch as I come up to him and immediately go back to the left, dodging his first jump. Push to the right as far as you go, and tap right just enough so that you're aiming the direction at him. When he slide attacks towards you, jump him. He will never hit you. If he slides back to the right, he won't hit you there either because you're so far to the left, his punch won't hit you. Now, if he hits you from you sliding back from the left to the right, it means you're too far to the right, and he will punish you for that. So I could just stay on the left here, jump with him, laser him, jump when he comes back to the left. He will never hit me. And you can just whittle him down with the laser. Now that I have bomb up to the level that I do, I can just use bombs too. If you have the horizontal bomb, it will destroy him. If you do not have the horizontal part of your bomb, then you're going to have to get a little closer to hit him. But the other strategy, if you don't want to use that strategy, is hang out the left, keep firing, and you'll kill him eventually. You could switch to bomb, jump to the middle of the area, and just hit him with a bomb, and just tank his shots. If he slides across, jump and dodge it. Otherwise, you could probably, with full health, tank the shots and just keep bombing him. And that's stage 2. We'll do a full run at the very end of this with all this combined so you can see what it looks like in action. Hopefully I'll have level 14 again at that point. Unlikely. More likely I'll have level 12 or 13. 14 if I remember this path well enough. But that's that. Stage 13. Now stage 13 is a little bit different, a little more caveman as far as the method as of right now, just because I didn't actually measure what enemy drops what, because at this point, I don't care. I have enough power to do the weapons that I need to do, and at the level that I need to do it. Even if I didn't have laser at level 13, a level 12 bomb is more than enough to efficiently beat the rest of the game out, rest of the stage out. Of course, by this point, you're not really worried about it for the rest of the game either. There's 6 stages to the game. I've made it up to 5, the end of 5. I haven't beaten it yet. But as far as a speedrun, you only have to do the first 3. So that being said, stage 3, like I said, has a little more caveman of a strategy. And it's pretty straightforward. You come into the stage, you select your bombs, you move immediately to the right, and you just start firing from the right to the left. When the enemies start piling from the left, you switch sides and start firing to the right. That's about it. Until the boss. And that is another strategies altogether different from there. And from here, you just slide up and down, keep firing to the left, and just deal with them as they come out. Now, as soon as they start coming from the left, I'll switch sides and shoot them from behind that way. Because the game kind of anticipated you hanging on the left side and doing as much damage and stuff from the left side to the right as you could. But as strategy turns out, it's easiest on this stage to stay behind them enemies and just fire to the left. It's very, very difficult for them to hit you if you're firing at them from the side they've spawned on. It's not impossible, it's just a lot easier. As you can see, I'm already well through this, and I've only taken a few hits. The ones you have to worry about, these little dudes that fire the missiles from side to side, they're a little harder to get a beat on. Alright, this should be boss. Alright, this guy's kind of a jerk. This guy will ruin your day. So, all that being said, all that being done, this guy has exactly one attack. Laser beam. Now, he will almost always hit you unless you have a particular motion about your attack. There's no really good way of strategizing your attacks better than just kind of anticipating the shot and then moving. So let me show you what I mean by that. So I'm going to fire to the left as usual, and I have the bomb, so I'm going to edge a little to the left. So he hit me with the first shot. As he fires the shots, I move up and down, over and below the shots. Basically, as soon as the shot is within passable range, I move down or above it, depending on where the shot came from. So there, I'm going to move up, down, and you see when I'm moving up when the shot passes over me. Okay, so I'm just going to keep firing my bomb over. Okay, I might have to tank a few of these shots. Okay, over, under, over, under, over, under, over. And you just keep doing that until you either bomb him or laser him out. Now, I could laser him, and lasering on a boss is far more efficient than bombing, but this guy goes down fairly well to the bombs, especially if you have the horizontal bomb. And we're done with him. But that was only the mid-range. We're not quite done with the stage. The rest of the stage is pretty straightforward, though. Keep heading right, but you need to put a little elevation. So as we head to the right, first ledge, we're going to jump on it. Now, these guys are worthless. Those crab guys. The guy that shoots the laser below me is not. So the very first thing I want to do is jump up on this first ledge and get over him. I don't have to come back around and kill him. Alright, so get to next ledge. There's 1 ledge, 2 ledge, 3 ledge. That's all the more I need, and I want to keep I want to keep the screen from scrolling as much as possible. So you see how close I am to the top of the screen? If I jump, that screen's going to scroll a bit. I want to keep it here. 2 reasons. 1, if you look down here, this guy's getting ready to shoot me. If I was still on that bottom layer, he'd have nailed me. But since I'm not on that bottom layer, he can't hit me, and that's good. Aside that, this is the layer we want to be. 3rd layer up is where we want to be, because this takes us through to the end of the stage where the actual boss is. So I'm going to keep moving to the right. I'm going to keep firing. He's not. Oh, and I did what I didn't want to do. So I'm going to drop back down enough I'm going to drop back down enough. No, I don't have to do this. 1, 2... 2 layers. Third layer. The reason why I'm doing this is this. If I come to the right here, you see this guy in the bottom right? There are a bunch of those turrets underneath of this bridge. The reason why I want to keep the screen here is because I want to be able to see their shots. Otherwise, if I can't see their shots, I'm blindly running across this bridge. And if you just run across this bridge, they will hit you. So the strategy is either push the screen here and try not to push the screen too much farther up, and you jump over their shots as they fire. Or the safety strategy is just keep jumping as you go across, even if you can't see the bottom. So I'm going to jump as I need to. And try not to push the screen anymore. There are a lot of these guys under there, so I just want to keep attempting to avoid damage. Also, by the end of the bridge, you want to keep firing too, because there is a guy at the very end of the bridge. If you keep firing, you should take him out before you take damage or too much damage. Alright? Keep walking, and then there's a drop-off. Now, once you get to this point, if you have the laser, now would be a good time to switch to it. If you don't, the bomb will work just fine. I'm going to switch the laser and drop down. We'll meet our boss. So as soon as we come out, it's this claw guy up to the right. We're going to keep firing our laser beam. We'll try not to tank too many shots. If he gets too close, scooch to the left. The laser does have an incredible range, so you can go a very, very good distance away from him and still be able to hit him with this. The bomb, on the other hand, does not have that luxury. So once you're up to a certain point and you really can't back off anymore, you can do one of two things. You can either jump over him and hit him from the left, or just keep railing with bombs until he dies. See, I only had to hit him one more time. Hopefully at that point, you have the health to handle him. Now, the reason why you might not, that mid-boss will ruin your day. The flight will ruin your day. You want to take absolutely no hits from this last guy unless you did well in the mid-boss or the stage, in which case then you can tank a few hits. His shots do hurt pretty well, so you want to avoid taking too many. But if you need to, you can actually jump over him and shoot him from the right side. Either way, take him down. Honestly, I'm rethinking using the laser at all on him at level 14. Now, if you went back through and powered up and have a level 16 laser, yes, mid-boss, use the laser. That final boss of stage 3, use the laser. Otherwise, if you have 13 or 14, the bomb is just as effective, so you don't even need to necessarily change your weapon at all. And so that's the general gist of it. That's the general gist of the walkthrough for Iron Blood, and that is Iron Blood, stages 1 through 3. Now, there are 3 more stages. I'm only showing off the first 3. Stage 4 is a vertical auto-scroller into a side platforming section. Stage 4 is not too bad at all, but we're not covering that one here, so we're going to go ahead back to the start of the stage. We're going to actually do a timed run. Time starts when you select your player. Again, I have not routed the Ripple. I have not routed Ripple. So it's very possible that Ripple could be faster. And if it is, I would implore somebody to check it out, make the attempt to see if, in fact, Ripple would be a better choice. Because it could be. I use Troll because I've been playing with him. I understand the feeling of his mechanics, and at this point, the stage layout is designed, the stage layout that I have understood is designed around knowing how Troll acts. So I'm going to go ahead and do the run. Hopefully it should be a little less than, what do I have there, 20 minutes, 22 minutes? And given what it is at this point, I don't anticipate it's going to be too bad here. Too bad whatsoever. So I'm going to come back to my game. I'm going to prep up here. What I'm doing on the side here for the moment, I'm getting my stage 2 enemy count where I need it. That way I can see what I need, because I haven't memorized it yet. I have a good idea where things are at now, but I haven't memorized it. So, go on go. All right, let's do this. careful with the slide because it does do unfortunate things. I tell you what, I almost want to restart this over again, but I need to baseline, so whatever. Up here, kill the second guy. By the way, if you hit these green guys before they fire, they actually won't fire. You can actually stun them. The blue guys don't fire at all, so have at it. Come on. Yeah, I already wanted to start this because I'm being too pushy on the slide here. Alright, get up here. Up here. And then off here. And take out the wall. Now remember that stage 1 is 2 parts. And no, I don't think being any closer to the wall is going to make me reload my gun faster. So just standing here and just unleashing, that's all you really can do. Third green guy. This guy here. Some health. Third blue guy. Second green guy. Alright, he hasn't given up yet. Okay, he's given up, I think. Nope, he hasn't given up yet. This is what happens. That guy sometimes won't give up. Bombs. Tree. Done. That's stage 1. Stage is it's a split on stage clear. So I've already dropped a minute and a half off that stage. Here I wanted to get the third guy. Stay low. Watch out for the shots. I want this guy. Power up. And then I want to... There's 2 more guys that have come out. Turrets, red turret, highs, okay. So there's turrets that are going to come out and take out the turrets. Take out the turrets. I'm going to add another turret high. This guy here. This guy, I believe, drops the item. Nope, nope, second guy, second. Yep. Third? Okay, it's the third. That might switch, and I don't know why. Okay, they're coming from the left. And stay high so I don't get hit by... Oh, stay low. There's another power-up from the left. Alright, so I'm going to stay with the guys at the bottom because the last one drops some health. Got it. And then these guys. And this last guy. Missed it. Okay, the final barrage has a guy that dropped. Yeah, after these guys. So that one in the middle, if you're quick enough, you can blow them up and just grab the health. So I have 10 at this point. I know that one of these guys, these last guys, has a power up. So there's that. That puts me at 11, which means I think I missed one. One power. Yeah, I missed one power up. That's fine. That puts me at 13. That's still more than enough. So I missed one on one of them. And I've got more than enough health to tank these guys, so I'm not going to worry about light footing it here. I'm going to start firing now. Because he will hit me. That's fine. Power up here. That puts me at 12, and the next one will put me at 13. Careful about this last jump. You will need to do a full jump to get through it. Full health, thank you. Get over this gap. The boss power up. Dash to the boss. And I got full health, so I'm going to kind of tank it. Wait for stage clear. There's stage clear. I saved another 20-some seconds there. And then last but not least, stage 3. Safest to hug to right and shoot left. Switch back to my bomb, please. Thank you. I'm going to do my dodge and weave from the right side here. Hit this guy here. There's a health on him. If you need health already, then I don't know what you were doing wrong, but guys coming from the left, I'm going to switch sides. Okay. Now, some of these guys do drop things. There's actually one more thing in the game that I didn't mention about, and that's the options. The options are very, very, very handy, but they're only a few drops in the first couple of stages. Got it. And what it'll do is it'll run down and lay down some extra fire. As long as I haven't taken too much damage, it'll stay out and keep dropping fire on enemies, which is nice. It's extra damage. Entirely happy for that. Just don't get hurt too badly and you can keep going with it. So yeah, it's kind of like Gradius and Life Force and R-Type and all that, where you do get like an extra helper, but it's such a minimal amount of help that, I mean, it's almost negligible. Okay. So when you flip sides, immediately hold up, then down as soon as that passes. Flip sides, immediately hold up. Flip sides, immediately hold up. Flip sides, immediately hold up. Try to dodge the shots as best you can. See, I'm dodging shots really bad right now because I'm not getting a rhythm. Oops, too low. I am laying down so much damage from my bomb attack. And the little minion guy is helping. It may not look like it's doing much, but I suppose it is helping. So you want to, if you can, find that guy on stage 3 and nail it. Because that certainly will help some extra damage. And he's done. Now be careful when he does that and leaves the screen. If you've gone long enough, he'll do that anyways. And he'll actually start firing at you from off the screen. So if he leaves the screen, you should be done with him. But in the case that you're not, be careful because he will come back after you. Oop, not high enough. 3rd level. Dash across this bridge, get across this bridge as quick as you can. And by the way, if you manage to slide enough, that last boost you're seeing there will actually do some damage. So if you actually slide into the enemy with that, you can actually do damage with that. And I'm going to tank it. I'm tanking it. I can tank this. See? Oop, that wasn't it. That's it. So there you go. 9:16. I took it from 23 minutes down to 9:16. And there you go. That's stage 1 through 3. I'll take it. I undid it. Thankfully, it kept timing it after that. So give or take a couple of seconds. That's about it. And there you go. That is Iron Blood. I'm going to go ahead and do a few more runs, but I'm going to go ahead and drop stream. And I appreciate everybody coming out. And if you have any questions or want more information on this particular run, I will be in the Discord for the RGL events, which you can find at docscathlon.com. There should be a Discord link there. I appreciate anybody watching this video or ahead of time. If you have any questions or anything else you want to know, let me know. Be more than happy to help you out. Also, hi, Dog Developer. Good to see you at the end of my little thing here. You know what? I think instead of dropping it, I'm going to go ahead and just remember that I want to cut the first hour of my stream here as the walkthrough, speedrun, blah 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 for this. I think I want to do another run. I don't think I'm quite finished yet. Do I want to save those? I absolutely freaking do. The biggest challenge of this is gathering up the power from the second stage auto-scroller. If you can pull out 13, you're great. If you can pull out 12, you can still manage it, but 13 is better. That's beautiful. So if you're here for a few minutes, Dog Developer, I'm going to do another run. F10, by the way. Let you just kill it. And I'm going to go ahead and just do another run. And time starts, if you're doing it like this, at selection of character. Hold right. I'm going to be careful with the sliding. No, I said I was going to be careful with the sliding. I lost a good bit of time on my first attempt here just doing this. Jump. Second guy here. By the way, I have provided this map already for stage 1 and 2. Stage 1 and part 1 and 2 of stage 1, sorry. Stage 1, part 1, and stage 1, part 2. I have already provided that in chat. I will provide a more full view of this here in a bit once I finish another run. Punchy, switch weapons, come over here, kill the wall. Yeah, I'll do another run here. I have no problem doing another run. But yeah, really, the only major bit of it is just knowing where the guys are for the power-ups. If you make it to the end of stage 2 but don't beat it... Nope, that's not it. If you make it to the end of stage 2 and don't beat it... This third guy here. This guy. You can easily start over at the beginning. I do want to try to do as much damage to this guy as I can before I leave. Just because he is a pain in the backside to keep alive. Okay, that's all I need for you. Oh, go back. I need this guy. Sorry. Come on. There we go. Now I'm done here. Second boss trick here. Left tree. Hang on by the left tree. And then jump when he shoots at you. Yeah, I might lose a little bit of time here, but... Stage clear. Yeah, I lost a second. Split on stage clear. Alright, third guy. Make sure you switch your weapon. Duck, dodge, and weave. Get out of the way of the missiles. Third guy comes from high. Get his item. Thankfully, this one gets caught. And in the next section, it's a little harder to pay attention where it's going to come from. So we're going to lift off here. It's on the 9th guy, so we can count them up. There's 1, 2, 3, guy 4, missile guy 5, turret 6, guy from the top 7, another guy from the top 8, and another guy from the top 9. Let's get him to get on the screen. Okay. So then after that, there's a 10th guy. Then there's going to be 4 from the left. I'm going to hang high. Swing low. This guy should drop a health, I think. Yep, drop the health. This guy drops nothing. Then we have 8, which is 4 high and 4 low. The 4th one from the bottom here that comes across drops another health. Got that. So now we're back at full health. Then we have another bunch of guys from the right, and I believe the 4th one drops. Got it. Alright. some more of these turrets. More guys from the left. Lots more guys from the left. And after these turrets, there is one here that has a health. Oh, I didn't get it. And then after these guys is another set of guys. 1, 2, 3. Last guy drops an item. Fifth guy drops an item. There we go. So that puts me at 12 power, which 2 more puts me at 14, which puts me at level 2 into laser, which is good, but not enough to do more damage, but it does give me enough to get my powerful bombs. And I have enough health here that I'm not worried about my tanking these guys, because these guys will ruin your day if you get too close. Too soon. You gotta hold down the button for the bomb. The bomb is annoying. There's another power up there. I'm gonna cross this gap here. Very long gap for the third jump. He'll drop nothing. He'll drop a full life. Beautiful. Go and jump. Very bad timing in that skid stop. Thank you. One more power up. Is there one more jump? Nope. Cool. And him, I'll just tank since I have full health. There is an easy safe strat for this guy. You just hang on to the left wall as close as possible and just stay there, but why safe strat if you want to be fast? Stage it's clear. There. Gained a couple seconds on that one. Save more time. And this one. My favorite part about this one is pick your bomb, hang the right side, and just stay there. Just go up and down. Nice, happy little lines. We're not in any hurry. We're just going to take our time over here. We're just going to take our time and relax. Hold the button, go up and down. This is the relax stage. I mean, I don't even have to move too much. Until they start coming from the other side. And I'll switch sides. As soon as a blue guy comes on the screen, you want to rush him because the blue guy actually has the option, which again is not necessarily whatsoever for the sake of the run. It's just a nice bit of extra damage. Back to the left side here, please. There he is. Nope, not that guy. Maybe the guy after him. Alright, a couple guys after that one. There we go. We got the option. Absolutely don't need it, but we're going to grab it because it's nice to have. Just kind of switch sides occasionally when they start coming from the other side. It works out pretty well. Try to avoid all the gunfire as much as you can. You want to reserve as much as your health as possible for the boss. Grabbing health when necessary. So the biggest difference between Troll and Ripple aside the melee weapon is the fact that Ripple is by far faster. Alright, swerve. Fire your shot, please. I mean, I'll take it, but up, down, up. You want to beat it. As soon as you beat the laser, you move to the next orientation. So, up. So, come on. Oh, he's off the screen. He's off the screen. Ah! It's a waste of time. That's bad. We're not done with him yet. Up. Down. Up. Down. You want to beat the laser. As soon as it goes past you, you want to switch your direction so you save as much health as possible. You keep switching sides! Just get killed or get dead already. You really don't want to tank any more on this guy than you have to. He's not going down. Okay, he's finally down. So he's down, finally. So now we have to rush the last minute here to the end. These guys won't do you hardly any damage, so don't worry about them. Jump him. Keep dashing, 1 level. Up, please. 2 levels, 3 levels, and then dash your way to victory. going to just tank him again. I'm going to just do the tank method. I don't think I'm going to beat 16, but... Since we're inside his body, he can't really do us much damage. His stomp's going to hurt us. Alright, that's fine. It's not doing nearly as much damage as what he could be doing. And 926. So the 916 was better. But, that's it. And so that's Iron Blood. That is stage 1 through 3 of Iron Blood. You're welcome. So I will go ahead and clip the entirety of the session. I'm not really counting the 916. I really don't want to count the 916, only because I stopped it before I was actually done with the stage. So I would say that this technically would be my personal best here. So I'm going to remove my split time on... I kind of want to update my split time here. No, actually, that stage there was actually my... No, I'll leave it alone. That's fine. Save splits. Yeah, we'll mark this as our personal best. That's going to be our personal best, right there. So 926, that's going to be my time. The 916 was nice. That was down from my 22, but that didn't take in effect the extra couple of seconds at the end of the run, because I stopped the timer before it was actually the stage clear was actually there. But that is assuredly a solid time for 3 stages. I will be posting this on the resources, and I will be posting my my tips as soon as I have a sheet built. And actually, I'll probably put that on speedrun.com if there's an Iron Blood section there now. There might be. Let's take a look. I don't know if we made it there yet. No results. Maybe I should introduce it. Nevertheless, I'm going to go ahead and clip that. Y'all have a wonderful night. Thank you for joining me, and we'll see you next time.